Nice try, Motion Twin, but I already did the explosive crossbow run. Take that. Another thing you'll notice here is that now it looks like pyrotechnics way on the top row above the character there. Now it has the old, what is that, Fire Torrent icon, I think? And Fire Torrent right now has this new kind of awful placeholder, I would say. Man, it looks terrible. Like, what is that even supposed to be? I mean, aside from the devil horns, you're going to recognize that. But anyway, hey, Ice Shock run. Let's go. Ice Shock works pretty much exactly like the Firebrands does, except it's an ice version. And by ice version, I mean, well, instead of like causing ice effect, like one of the things in the game, I mean, the obvious genesis of this item is that it is supposed to kind of fill the gap of something that does the slowing damage of, you know, like the slowing damage you get on an enemy after you freeze them without needing to actually freeze them in the first place. So, you know, you get like this mechanic not tied to otherwise another item, well, another like a effect that you can get that you might not want, for example. Like if all you want is enemies to be slowed down a little bit, Ice Shock does you good. The other thing is it also syncs pretty well with oil effect. Because the base damage of these things are awful. 31 damage. Oh, well, I get plus 50%, so, you know, 45 damage per second. Which it's like, even these total pushover first level enemies, which normally will go down like single hit to anything even somewhat powerful, are now taking like half a dozen minimum before you can kill them with the Ice Shock. It's like, no, you really need to have the oil effect or them to be in water to actually get even somewhat decent damage. And it's not even like the best damage either. It's just, that turns it into acceptable damage. And that actually brings me to another point of this run. This run is not going to be a pure weapon run. Well, that's not to say that I didn't try to make it a pure weapon run. Cue the footage. However, that does mean that, like, well, I don't really want to do that again because, man, that damage. I ended up that run, well, I ended up going into the assassin fight, or, well, the clock room, like, in-between level biome with, what, 17 health left with no charges left on my flask. It was a nightmare to try to go through areas with that setup. This is actually good. So it's like, I think that that will stand as like the attempt that I made. It was a good one, even if it wasn't successful. And here I'm at least going to try to grab, I don't know, like oil grenade or, oh boy. I'm going to try to grab oil grenade or something that actually syncs with this, because I think that if you're going to show off this weapon, it's kind of important to get that combination in there to make it, well, to show it off properly. Now, going promenade of the Condemned here, because there is a little bit of new content. Like I said, the explosive crossbow is no longer unlocked by default here, so... well, I guess it makes it kind of easier to dodge them. But, like, yeah, now you can see it's a little bit of a puzzle to actually get in there. What you're looking for here is 3 different keys, and those 3 keys are Gardener's keys, I think they're called. They look like little roses. I actually like the icon they have for the key a lot. And there's 3 of them hidden around the level in various places. I've looked around a couple times now, and oh, I didn't open up another one of those. Weird. I've looked around a couple of times now, and they're not too difficult to, and like some of them are not too difficult to find. They're mostly just checks to see if you have the proper runes, but one of them is a little bit trickier than the others. I'll show that off when I get to it. But otherwise, and the other thing that kind of predicted with the explosive crossbow has come true now. They have fixed all of the crazy bugs that were happening with it, so it is a bit more Oh, great. So it is a bit more viable to use now. Boy, is this not a weapon that works really well with this. You do get a decent amount of, like, AoE on the Frost Explosion, but it's not anything amazing. I mean, if you throw it into a group of guys, you slow down all of them, and that's kind of all you would expect out of this. Nah, it's going to be getting a lot better when I finally get, like, an oil grenade, or, like, something that applies oil on deployment, or, you know, something like that. Because that means that I'll actually be able to, you know, do even halfway decent damage to enemies. But yeah, like I said, applies oil on deployment or an oil, or just a pure oil grenade. What I'd like to do is by the end of this run have 2 oil grenades. Get them in the water here for that damage. Nope, not quite. There we go. You know, water is an interesting beast in this game, because it's something that is just kind of like a random stage hazard, will obviously never appear in like any huge battle against like a boss or anything like that. It really makes, and I guess it's interesting that they're trying to like create some sort of, create even like a little bit of synergy with like any weapon, considering it's just kind of a random stage hazard that you have very little control over. Makes me wonder if they're eventually going to put in a way to, like, I don't know, throw down some water, like, create some sort of watered area. Oh, here we go. No, nobody else wants to come down here? Great. It makes me wonder if it, like, maybe they'll make a bomb that actually, yeah, here's the first gardener's key. See, it looks like a rose. That's neat. I like that sprite a lot, is really the thing. But yeah, first one, it seems to always, well, first one that I tend to find seems to always be like in a kind of hidden-y type area that you need the Beliar's Rune to get into. Also, what it used to be in the Promenade is that anytime that you saw an elevator like this, it always led down to a shop. Now it seems like they're just putting them everywhere, so I don't know. I don't know what slowing that does, but whatever. Like, the idea that you can even slow the little secret blocks is stupid. But anyway, yeah, it makes me wonder if they're gonna put in, like, a bomb that will, like, maybe create, like, a little crater and, like, fill it with water or something like that. Because I could easily see that now that they've kind of put it in the game. Much like in the way that Ice Shock here works a lot like... Oh, come on. Much in the same way that Ice Shock works a lot like the Firebrands. I mean, they're reusing that sort of, like, general mechanic. This kind of, like, super weird arcing throw, which requires, like, a little bit of skill to kind of use properly. I do like that they're using it for another weapon, but it's like, this isn't so much a weapon as it is, like, a freezing machine. There to just make it so that you can freeze and or slow down enemies. Apply the frost debuff to enemies if you don't have a very specific setup where you're able to apply oil on dudes. Man. But yeah, I mean, it makes me wonder if they're going to reuse that mechanic later or make it like you could, like I said, you could easily like just make a skill where you throw down like a bomb and create like a little pool of water for enemies to kind of, yeah, for enemies to kind of like stay in while you're, you know, using a weapon that does extra damage against them. Ah, there we go. Hope I can get a... Nope. Well, actually, no. This is exactly what I'm looking for, because I want to see if there's... Oh, come on. There aren't that many grenades in this game. Oh, yeah, thanks. Great. Ugh. 54 damage per second versus 220. Or 300, actually, with plus 50% damage. Alright, I can certainly get a little bit more money here before leaving this biome. Ah, yes, second key. Always at the top of, like, this little tower here. While the last one was a check to see if you had the Blire's Rune, this one is a check to see if you have the Spider's Rune. Alright, so... Oh, good, here we go. Oh, yeah, saving money here. No upgrade for me this time. But yeah, what was I saying? It's like, oh yeah, I like seeing that they reuse the whole firebrand thing, because I like kind of having the skill shot of being able to, like, sort of jump and throw to get, like, just the perfect angle on stuff. It's the sort of finesse that I like. Oh, right, not supposed to be doing that. Not supposed to be using stomps as attacks. Why am I... Yeah. "10 years later." Okay. So, like, yeah, I kind of like that, like, sort of finesse required to be able to properly... You know what, I'm going to come back when I have the oil grenade. Yeah, that sort of extra bit of finesse to be able to... There we go. To be able to actually get the... To be able to actually hit enemies with this sort of weapon proper. Alright. Then there is one more key, which I did not see running through here. I will cut to it pretty soon. But what you're looking for is you're looking for a little flower growing out of the ground, and that is the third key. That's the one that's actually kind of a little bit of a puzzle. Oh, it's right here. Never mind. Yeah, if you do just like a little tiny stomp. There you go. Couple times, and that's it. Let's go get that, blueprint here. Other than that, I think I'm pretty much done in this area. Aside from maybe being able to get the oil grenade that I was looking at. Oh, come on. Why was that flower talking to me? I have no idea. And there you go. Hooray! Can I afford that oil grenade right now? I might actually have enough money for it. Yes, good. You know, oil is a super weird kind of status effect in this game. Because pretty much, like, what it does is it, like, every other status effect does something. Like, fire, poison, bleeding does damage over time. Like, frost obviously will, you know, slow down enemies. Freezing will freeze them. Stun will stun them. But, like, oil only works in tandem with other... Oil only seems to work in tandem with other, like, weapons. I mean, it's been in the game, like, all the way in the earliest versions of the game when you had the flammable sword, which eventually became the oiled sword. And it's like, even back then, it was always kind of questionable. I still don't know exactly how much extra damage you get when you... I still have no idea how much extra damage you get when you, man. When you apply oil on an enemy and then, like, light it on fire. I mean, I would guess it's probably, like, twice as much damage, but, you know, it's kind of hard to say. Another thing, too, is that it's like, there are plenty of things that give you, like, plus 100% damage or plus 30% damage when, like, on fire, poisoned, or, like, 30% is, like, bleed. I think you, like, can get, like, 50% if it's stunned or slowed. but like nothing specific for oil, which is weird because each one of those effects has, you know, their own benefits to... Finally some decent damage. Because each one of those effects has kind of their own benefits to applying on its own, you know, aside from being just an effect on an enemy. But like for some reason, oil doesn't have that sort of thing. Ooh, where is that scroll of power? Looks like it's in a secret area. I'll have to look at that. And the weird thing is that it's just like, that is one of the, like... There we go. And it's like... What? Oh, come on. It's totally obscuring it. There we go. You know, it makes me wonder if it's just like what they should do is they should add in something. Like, I don't know, you get like oil in enemies' eyes or something like that, and now they will miss you if they try to attack you. Or like, maybe they'll slide off edges. Just something like that. Or, you know, give you the ability to like plus 100% on enemies that are oiled up. They're ready to wrestle. Oh, come on. Should be fine here. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, that's always just been something that I've been thinking. I do definitely like the fact that there is some use for oil with pyrotechnics, and now... You know, with pyrotactics and ice shock, now there is some real use for oil. But it's like, it's still kind of like... Ooh. But it's still kind of like, it's not as useful as other debuffs you can inflict on enemies. Which I always thought was just kind of weird. Like, give it something else. Like, it's in the game, it's been in the game forever, it's like, give it a little bit of love. Aside from just making some very, very specific weapons that can be sort of used with it, if given the right circumstances. Minotaur Scroll? Yeah, sure, what do you got? I guess let's go for maximum health here. You know, I don't think I'm entirely sold on the way that they are doing health right now. It's like, it's... As of right now, it is not really forcing me to, like, really think about, like, what stats I want to take. I'm still only taking a... Yeah. Oh, come on. There we go. Like, yeah, I'm still only taking, like, a singular stat, and then I'm just switching off between the other stats. I think what would really kind of sell me is that I like the idea of mutations, but as of right now, I feel like there are a lot of mutations that, like, too situational, too dependent on a specific sort of, like, setup or a specific sort of weapon. Like, if you don't have something that can do poison, if you don't have something that can do... Yeah, okay. I think I'll be fine. Yeah, if you don't have something that can do poison or bleed or, you know, fire, then suddenly, like, you know, this mutation doesn't really matter. If you aren't using something that has projectile, this doesn't matter. Oh yeah, also, I have a blueprint here. I keep forgetting about that. I mean, this is going to be wiped as soon as there's another update, but hey, it's some place to use cells for once. Like, yeah, if you know, if you're planning to fight bosses, these two things are useless. I guess I'll take this. Like, useless if you don't have a shield. All that sort of stuff. And I would like mutations to be more general. I want them to, like, not just fulfill a very specific niche in a very specific build, but to be something that can be always useful. And although I do really like the... It's not bad damage. And it's like, I do really like Oh, I can double throw that if I just kind of tap back and forth. Okay, I didn't realize that. You know, that doesn't always work with stuff, because, for example, like the explosive lure, you can't put down a second explosive lure, it just overwrites the first one. Alright, awesome, double damage tactics here. But yeah, like I was saying, I do really like the idea behind the mutations. I just think that, as of right now, in the same way that this is an alpha, and should be subject to change, I hope that it will be looked at a little bit more in the future. Especially because, as of right now, it's just like I said, you know, plus 50% health is weird and does... Whoa, hey. Doesn't even matter. And does kind of cause some, like, weird scaling stuff, where it seems like you have way too much health by later levels, so, I don't know. Like, it makes it feel like... It makes the scaling feel all funky. Maybe that's just something with me, but, like, I don't know. I mean, pretty much, yeah, just sum it up here. I like the ideas. I feel like they might not be implemented super well just yet. Oh, and one of the things that they have changed now is that the explosive bow, the explosive crossbow does not have arrows. I guess it works a lot like the bow and infinite arrows. Well, by the way, Ice Shock 2. I hope I can get an upgrade for this eventually. I mean, I think having the cooldown, the lessened cooldown for the oil grenade will help a lot, but... because being able to spam that means that I'm always getting the critical. But, aside from that, that would mean a lot more if I had, like, a higher damage Ice Shock in the first place here. By the way, this is kind of a crazy jump. You need the spider rune to be able to get up here. I know that with this new update they've added a bunch of new little level chunklets, and I think it's really showing right here, because I don't remember ever going up that sort of thing before. Yeah, gimme. With the ability to slow and the kind of actually relatively high, like higher than I would have expected damage output that I have at this point, I think I should be able to deal with golems pretty easily. There's a new pyrotechnics. Well, the pyrotechnics using the old icon. Whatever, that's fine. I'm sure I'll have more chances to get some new stuff here. Yeah, you know, I'll say this, Motion Twin, if you can't add, like, new... Well, if it's going to be a lot longer till you add new biomes, keep adding new, like, little parts of levels. Ooh. Yeah, keep adding new parts of levels, because that's totally fine with me. Okay. Yeah, that little arcing is super good for taking out enemies at a distance sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. In general, I don't really like slowed enemies that much because it kind of screws up my timing. Like, ooh, boy. Am I going to have to... Okay, well, shouldn't be too bad. If I don't totally screw it up. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. Does virtually nothing if I don't have that oil on. Thankfully, that cooldown reduction means that I can spam that pretty quick. Ooh. Oh, there's an elite down here. Okay. Alright. Yeah, in general, it's like, I do like that they are giving a little bit of love to the... I do like that they are giving a little bit of love to... Oh, boy. Whoa, whoa. I mean, I got a YOLO amulet, so... Oh, okay. Yeah, I got a YOLO amulet, so it wasn't too bad, but still. Man, that was close. Yeah. Anyway, I was saying, it's like, I like the love that they're giving to, like, the freezing effect. It's like, I feel like that would help out a lot of people, but honestly, I've played this game so much that it's like, it just kind of screws up my timing when I'm trying to dodge around things. So it's like, you know, Ice Shock, cool, but unless I have, like, this sort of crazy, super high damage setup, I don't know if I would use it all that often. Like, it seems like the perfect thing to use with, like, a... Oh, it's even farther up. It seems like definitely the perfect thing to use as a, like, supplement to an oiled sword, which is kind of crazy because we would have never really thought of using anything but something that would start things on fire otherwise. And that's actually, you know, another thing that I really like. Yeah, make it so... I mean, if oil is going to be a sort of status effect that, like, only really works in tandem with other things, make it so that those other things, like, when combined, make it super powerful. I don't know. Alright. You know, I think I'm actually going to hit up the Sepul... Oh, better. It's just me, or does the skybox look kind of weird here? Or is that always kind of how it looked and I just didn't remember that? Any apply oil? No. I think it's only the, Oh yeah, there we go, finally. Yeah. I think it's only the like deployable traps that have the applies oil on, well, deployment or usage. Yeah, that slows health in quite a bit. Golems, though, still pretty hardcore. And I see people saying, like, nerf them all the time, and it's like, they're hard. They're not that hard. Come on, guys. Alright. Okay, I don't think he saw me, which is good. Ah, dang. I don't think there's anything else around here for the most part. Ooh, I will take this, though. And it's just an orb caster, that's fine. Man! I want to keep the damage from the 75% reduction from projectile damage. Okay, great. Alright. Okay, Minotaur Scroll, and then I'm out of here. Hey, get this usage out of it. Yeah, I'll say again, it's just like, I want to see more stuff with water. Because water is also another one of those things that, like, there are actual mechanics associated with it that you don't really see much of anywhere. Like, you'll occasionally see, yeah, nothing else going on in here. Let's go. Yeah, like with water, you'll occasionally see, like, the 2-tile high water, and that, like, actually causes some real, yeah, I don't think there's anything else I really need. Well, I don't think there's anything else that I would really take here. But yeah, you'll occasionally see, like, 2-tile high water, and that actually really does impede your movement. But you never see that sort of thing in any place in the game where it matters. Which makes me wonder if they're going to, like, add in, like, a big swampy area later. Hey, if you want to go with the Dark Souls references, that would definitely be one of them to hit up. Because for some reason, FromSoft... Okay. Because for some reason FromSoft loves their obnoxious, slow-moving... Okay, I really need to get to some... Oh. You. Because FromSoft really loves their obnoxious, slow-moving, swampy levels. Whether it's Farron Keep, Valley of Defilement, Blight Town, of course. Oh, boy. But nevertheless, it is a mechanic that I feel like hasn't really been fully, I don't know, explored in this game yet. Maybe it will one day, who knows. Nightmare Frontier. Man, they're probably going to announce a new Armored Core game soon. A series that I've never really played, but I've always been a little interested in. I don't know, maybe I'll have enough money by the time it comes out to be able to play it. Oh, it makes me wonder if, like, the fire here is getting rid of the oil. I don't know if that's a mechanic because I've never really used oil all that much. Ow. Because I feel like it's going away pretty quickly. I don't know. Yeah, what do you got? No, I want to see... I'm still using Ice Shock... yeah, Ice Shock level 2s here. I'm going to see if I can get something better than that. Who knows, because I might just get another skill shop, and that would be awful. Hi. You know, if nothing else, Oil Grenade... Yeah, this is like the one time that, like, dive attacks leave oil is really useful. But yeah, if there's one thing that oil grenades really do well, it's killing weak enemies in a big area of effect. Whoa-ho, hey. Yeah. Ooh, that was close. Yeah, so if you're dealing with like a bunch of bats or something like that, you can take them all out at once if you just throw down an oil grenade. And if you got that, if you got like a cooldown reduction, it's like, yeah, what, 3-second cooldown? Honestly, this is way more effective than I expected it to be. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, like, what's the actual damage that I'm doing here? 647, but it's like I can toss out 2 of those at once. Like, just about it. Or at least, you know, effectively 2 of them at once. So, I don't know, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I expect this run to be way harder. I mean, like I said, the kind of test run, the dry run that I did, just to see, like, how far I could get with only the Ice Shock was... like, nightmarishly difficult because of its extremely low base damage. But when you actually get, like... But, you know, when you're using it to its fullest potential, it's like you can get some really good damage out of it. Something I didn't expect. Okay. Yeah, number one thing I'm looking for here is the second shop. Hopefully it is going to be a weapon shop. But like, with the luck I've been having lately with this sort of stuff, well, with the luck I've been having since like the Brutal update started, it makes me feel like, well, oh no, yes, perfect. Well, now I just, you know, need to get one. Yes. These burn when they die. Well, let's take this one first. Aw, oh, come on. Just like one more. By the way, what is the actual damage? Yeah, 1544, 100%. I mean, I suppose it's pretty obvious because it's 100%, but like, seeing is believing. Wait, how much is the oil grenade doing? 308 damage. Wow, that's really not too bad. I think really the most damage, though, I'm getting out of it is from the... Oh, boy. I think the most damage I'm getting out of the oil grenade, though, is from the volley of arrows it's throwing down. Okay. Well, it's still only 54 damage per arrow, so I guess that's actually not that much, but it's enough. Now, what's the fastest I can get it? I don't know. I mean, it's pretty fast, which is good enough as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, there you go. Just kind of fat finger it so you're pressing both the buttons at once. A technique that I do not think that I'm going to perfect in this run, but maybe someday. Maybe someday. Hey, there's a good example of an enemy killing another one by landing on its head. Alright. Oh, I don't have the key. I guess it's over here. Yeah, I'm thinking right now I am probably not going to have too big of a deal with the assassin. Well, I mean, if I get hit, like, even a couple times here, it's going to be a death sentence, but I do still have the YOLO amulet. Which is generally why I take it, you know, first thing. Because I always kind of Because I always kind of expect to use it. Also, yeah, I see I accidentally picked up the cluster grenade instead of selling it like I wanted to. Whoops. Ah, well, whatever. It doesn't even do anything of any, like... Crap! Well, so much for having the YOLO amulet. Ah, well, I don't even know what mutation I'm going to take otherwise here. Yeah, you know, normally in one of these runs, if I would have accidentally picked up something that's not part of the run, that's pretty much run over. But here, this is more of a showcase type run anyway, so I think that one actually threw down oil. Why didn't I take it? Oh. Okay. One more. Yeah, sell this and see if I can go back and get one more upgraded ice shock. Other than that, I think I'm done here and can finish up this run in style. Well, I mean, as stylish as throwing a bunch of... I guess they're like snowflakes? At the assassin would be. Ah, nothing. Oh, well. Right over here, yes. And yeah, that's it for this area. Actually, canvas is pretty well. And yeah, that's not enough to get me anything. Maybe if it was like one of the big rubies or something like that. Ew. Yeah, one of the things in this update was that they apparently screwed around with the scaling a little bit more so that enemies may be doing more or less damage. I have no idea. Because all it did was say that they changed it. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll still be like one solid 3-hit combo and I'm dead. Maybe it'll be even easier. Who knows? Back to 100%. It's interesting you only get 5 here, because it's like, what? I got Ice Shock 8 from the store. Ah, well, anyway. What's one that would be useful in any way? Yeah, maybe a little extra rally. I don't know. If I do get hit, that would make it so that I might be able to get back my health, mostly. I don't know. Let's take a look. Oh, okay. Well, that was kind of funky. Alright, this is already kind of weird. Okay, this is a somewhat odd battle. Wow. Hey, you do get the weapon from her, so I guess it's really wow, I don't even know what to say here. Alright, Ice Shock run. I like this weapon a lot more than I thought I would. I guess there's not too much more to say on that.